I've known Kush for a long time. He's one of the homies, and he's been thirsting for that cereal. So hopefully he can get us.
Best of luck to him.
Yeah, I played.
What's the matter with you? There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
その態度鼻につくんだよ麦わら強くなったのは何もお前だけじゃない
Here comes a new challenger.
Hello YouTube, I'm here with the one and only Kush is my cologne. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Yo, congratulations.
Thank you.
If you don't know, Kush is a returning person from my YouTube channel.
Yes, sir.
Local legend here in Oregon. Tell me what you did with the regional yesterday.
I went to the Peoria regionals and I ended up finishing top 8.
Top what?
Top 8.
What
Yes,
does that mean?
I got my first cereal.
Oh,
Yes,
congratulations.
sir.
About time.
Let's get it.
I know, like, right off the bat, this is something you put a lot of hard work into. You're always giving people a lot of props. I know you're involved in a lot of different communities.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there any specific people you want to give a quick shout out to before we get into this interview?
I got like a whole long list, so I'm gonna just grab my phone. I don't want anybody to feel like left out. So first off, my playtesting group, like locally, I playtest with a couple people locally, which have been like a huge help for me just in my progression in the TCG. So we have Cam, Omar, Ali, Gio, and his boy Nug. Shout out to the Lucci Master.
Top 8 match.
Master. They both got their cereals at Gen Con last month, or the beginning of the month. We got, I said Gio, Nugs, Ben, Paco, Brian, James, Ali. Those are the local people, yourself as well.
Thank you. Yo, that's a big crew.
Yeah, it is. Everyone else locally, as far as like Chronos, TC, what is it, Thunder Kitty, all those local shops that we have here. Shout out to Tony and everybody else that I missed, Dr. Cat, fucking Dario, Maya, everyone. If I missed you, my bad. I fuck with you. Shout out. It's a big scene, so people go there a lot. I haven't been attending recently because I've been traveling a lot. And when I travel, I usually chill with like my boys, Joe, Batista, Hart, Cross, Wraith, Jackson, Jonas, Smoyle, I can't forget. Matt also, who helped me, was like the big reason why I actually got to Peoria. Everyone in the cross court, I'm pretty sure, like, I think they just hit over like 2,000 members.
That's a big deal. That's a big crew.
It's big. Everyone in the Grand Line court. Let me see, my boy Paul, Jacob. I mean, everyone, my wife and kids, everyone. I mean, it's pretty much everyone that like I've talked to since I've been playing the game, like Fee, Grace, and all of them, all the people that I've been play testing with, webcam games, all those. Also, I said it already, but shout out to my boy Hart, who got top 4. My boy Zell, who finished second in the regional. The top 8, I believe, was 8 of the people in the top 8 were all in the cross court. Kevin Zell, Impact, all of them, everyone. It was all 8 of us. We all knew each other, so it was real cool. Like to actually have a picture like that with everyone that like kind of knew each other. So it was a blessing to be like part of that. So it felt good.
Yo, that's so awesome.
It was fun.
That's kind of like history, you know. You guys all roll up as a crew. You guys play test each other, and it sounds like you in Oregon, you have a really big test group as well.
Well,
so you get a lot of good reps in.
We haven't played as much lately, but like for the most part, that was like the people that I tested with heavily for the first Nats, and then we always like hit each other up with ideas or talk. Like we have our Oregon Discord where people usually talk about all that kind of stuff. So it's just good to have like a big network of people like that. Also, I can't forget, you see the Matt Seafood King, my boy Noel, Free Noel, and Fabian, who's also recently just left, I guess. So those two were like 2 of the biggest helps for me early on to get into the game, because that's like where I went to kind of learn the card game. And then recently it's been like, like Cross, like Jonas, Jackson, those guys have been like giving me a lot of insight. I learned so much when like I play with people of that caliber who have like multiple serials, multiple wins, and all that. So,
and that's about to be you too. I know you're traveling next week to Texas. Is that right?
I think it's the week after. No, it actually is next week. Yeah, so next weekend, not this one, but the following weekend, I should be at the Texas regional. So hopefully we go 2 for 2.
Hell yeah, dude! Congratulations.
Thank you.
I see that you brought Lucci.
Yes, sir.
I know you've been hopping around. Is Lucci the truth? Is this what you feel like is what you're gonna bring to Nats when you go as well?
Potentially, because like I did start the format with RP Law. I got my invite with RP Law at Mesquite. It's a really good deck. I think the high roll factor, just the like Lucci is also inconsistent, but for me it was like I like the fact that like RP Law is very strong in the mid game and kind of falls off as the game progresses, where Lucci is like kind of weak in the early game but gets stronger as the game progresses. And as I play like more games, I felt like better players usually tend to get to like the late game. They can stall the game out. They know how to play where they don't get to like they force you to make a mistake, right? So for me, Lucci felt like it was the best option to take because once I hit that late game, I kind of just facilitate what I'm drawing with my trash, putting it back, and I'm basically playing the game that I want to play. So I feel like Lucci is, in my opinion, the best deck. But I mean, you play good black yellow Luffy's, I'll probably just run you over like most of the time. But I'm considering it for now. It's like one of my 3 decks that I might take. As of right now, it is number 1 because it's like the one that I'm the most familiar with. But I don't know how good of a call it is with just like the RP Law man and the stage man and the shifting meta. So
for sure. And then bam, I'm gonna put up your deck list right in front of us.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if it's gonna be over here or over here. Who knows?
Either or.
But looking at your list, it looks pretty standard. Is there like any specific cards you want to point out? I see this couple over here.
So I have the issue here because this card has been talked about a lot where people like they don't know if they want to play it or not. I had it at 0 for the last couple regionals, and it didn't really come up much. It came up like once in Swiss, and then in the top 8 game, it actually was the reason I won the first game because I had it out and I was able to reduce everything. So I probably would maybe put it at 0 depending on how many black yellow Luffy's we see. But this card right here is MVP. This card is so gas. It actually won. I want to say it won me 2 games, and it won my boy Hart, who finished top 4. It won him 2 games. I believe it was 2 games, or it was 1 game. But I know for sure 1 game it won him. But there was a game where I played a Gecko, and it was like the final turn. He had leader swing, Gecko Moria swing, a Sabo, and a hogback. And the only way I would have won out of life was if there was a finger pistol or a 2K, and he swung 9 with his leader. I ended up countering out of that. Then he swung 9 with Gecko Moria, and then the finger pistol trigger killed the Sabo, which gave me enough counter to counter out of the hogback swing. Because he could only he like ended up KO on a blocker, so he could only go like I think it was like 7-7 or 8 because it KO'd the Sabo, and it won the game because of that. And then I also had a game earlier versus RP Law, which it didn't like win the game for me. I had a fingerprint group Tristan that killed a blocker, but it made it where my opponent had no choice but to try to kill me because he could have turtled up with the extra blocker if he kept it active, but because the finger pistol trigger killed his queen, it made him have to go all in, and I had the counter. So I just on the clapback, I just instant won. So this card actually won me games. I wasn't a believer of it because it doesn't like. You don't want to have weak turns as Lucci, and if you're not really doing anything, you're not establishing a body, and you're just killing something, it kind of slows your tempo down. But the late game is just so strong that this card just kind of gets you there, and having a trigger out of life is just like just chef's kiss. It's actually so beautiful. I felt bad, but it was like it was perfect. It was just so good. Yeah. Hey, it's better to be lucky than good. I'll tell you that right now. It's better to be lucky than good.
Oh, I do see on your list that you're running 2 zombies Luffy's. Like,
yeah.
I've been seeing it starting to come up more. Is there any times like sometimes I hear it's for the BY matchup, right? But then I'm hearing a lot of times it's for counter. What's your thoughts on running that card?
I did have I was like an early like enjoyer of the 7-cost Luffy, the Gear 4 Luffy.
Yeah. The one that can swing twice, right?
Yeah, that one was big, like especially versus like Nami. It's good versus BY. When I played it at Gen Con, I played 2 treasure cups in a regional. It barely came up at all. I think it came up like once. Then I was play testing with it a lot, and I didn't really get much out of it. Plus, like a lot of times it's a dead card. So I was like, man, shout out to my boy Cross, who got his Pasadena cereal with Lucci, and he had the Nightmare Luffy's in, and he put a lot of work with it in. Like it actually won him his top 16 game, and it could have won him the top 8 game as well. But like that card just put so much work, and I was like, okay, well, it has a counter. It's a really good card. It trashes. It can come up in a lot of matchups. If you get lucky and like say you had like the niche situations of like using it in the mirror or like matchups other than BY that they can't get rid of it. It can also like in the mirror, it can make your opponent like, you know, their trash not be that well good and stuff like that. Like there's like little things you can use it in where like it could come up, right? But mainly it was for BY. I didn't face any BYs. Peoria, luckily for me, you know, I believe I had like 2 or 3 friends out of all of us. I think they faced 1 BY. So, you know, it's like when Lucci doesn't face BY, then the field is much more advantageous for you. So it was good. I didn't have to face BY, so it was like, okay, perfect. It didn't come up. So it didn't really come up at all. I don't think I used the card once. It was just counter. But like if I had 7 drop, I wouldn't have the 1K counter, right? So having the 1K is huge because that gives me a life. So basically, it was huge for me for that, but I never played it. I don't think I played it once. But if I would take it out, I don't think I would. I would keep it still.
Keep it that way?
Yeah, I would definitely keep it. I think the winner had 3, which was surprising, but I could see yeah. I mean, I do believe that he did play more than one BY and he won the matchup because of it. So it makes sense.
But hey, I know you're talking about things about matchups.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your matchup.
Yeah. So my matchups were I played 2 RP Law, I played 3 Mirrors, I played 2 Geckos, I played 1 Anel, and I believe I played 2 Bonnies. Yeah. So my only losses were 1 Mirror and 1 RP Law. The RP Law game, I think I lost like round 5. We both low rolled. It was a pretty boring game. It was my boy, shout out to Karar, but it was a pretty boring game. I think he won because like he had 2 bodies on board. He ended up playing a Sanji the turn before, and I cleared 2 bodies, but I couldn't get rid of the Sanji. I had a Sabo and no life, and he just swung like 7-7, and that's how he won. Because I had exactly 7, so I had to like block the 7, and then he swung 7 again, and I only had 2 1K, so he won that. And then the mirror, I mean, the mirror is the mirror. Like this set, next set is pretty much just like if you like, draw better or trash better, or like you see more of the top end, you can win. But it was like when you have people when you have like an equally skilled matchup where both players are pretty good and they understand their decks, like it usually can come down to that. So I mean, he was a good player. He's a guy that won the tournament. So shout out to Flash Raven. Follow his Twitter if you do. But he's really good. He won the tournament. It was his day. So
for sure.
yeah. If you watch all his matchups, they were really clean. So he played it really well. Even we played in the top 8 and he destroyed me 2-2-0. So I can't make excuses about that. He just ran me over. So yeah, it was good.
How did your second day go?
The second day was fine. I kind of
only top 32 players.
Yeah.
Move on.
So I ended up X2. We had 10 rounds. The pair down didn't lose. I did get a pair up, which I won, which forced it that in round, I believe 9, there was a pair down, and they ended up not losing either. So we went to day 2. My first match was Dofi, which is advantageous for me. I won game 1 pretty easily. I seen a lot of my removal. Every game I think I did have stage. I think the second game I kind of low rolled. I could have won 2-0, but I made a mistake. The guy was a really nice guy as well. But there was a turn where I could have removed the boa, but he froze a brook, and I forgot because I usually turn my cards upside down. I didn't, and I should have when I played Gecko into Rebecca into Helmepo. If I play the Helmepo over the brook, I just bring it back, play it, and I remove his boa. I didn't because I wanted to swing with it, and I couldn't swing, so that caused me to lose the game because I could never remove it, and then by that time he went too wide. Game 3, it was. I mean, that was like probably the worst game for him because I saw all my removal. I had like 3 or 4 geckos on board. I think I even played an Isho. Like it was just top end central. It was pretty crazy. Then I played Bo on stream. The game was fun. Shout out to him as well. He was a good player. Won game 1 pretty easily because of the Isho. There was an issue that I heard of the judges like incorrectly because they made us use dice, which was like unfortunate for me because I usually don't use dice. But they wanted everyone to have the same information and the stream to be able to tell. So with the dice, it was kind of throwing me off. And I think there was like a mishandling of the judge saying, there was a minus number on there that wasn't correct. So when I went to play a Khalifa, it only made it, I think, a 3 instead of a 2. But I was under the impression it was a 2. And it ended up, I played a Lucci to remove both. And then after that, it was pretty much game. But I will say I did have the Kaku in hand, the -3. Yeah, so the -3. So it was the same thing. If I would have like known the exact number correctly, then I would have just played the Kaku instead of Khalifa, and then I removed the same thing. And the Khalifa didn't give me any advantage. Like the draw 2 didn't matter. I pitched those 2 cards anyway. So it was like it was just like a misunderstanding all around. So it did suck, but I mean I ended up winning game 1. I lost game 2, and then game 3 I pretty much high rolled as well. It was like those matchups are kind of easy for Lucci, right? Like Bo is probably like Lucci is Boa's worst matchup. So as long as I see what I need to see, they can't do anything about it, which is how the game went. And then top 8, I played Raven. It was a mirror match. I got destroyed. Like the first game was fun because we just high rolled each other. So it was like, I think we'd spent like 7 or 8 turns of just consistent removal. It was like, I remove his board, he removes mine. I remove his, he removes mine. And like, he removed mine the final time. There was a turn where I probably should have gone for game, but he had like a couple cards in hand, a blocker, and I could have probably swung like 6s, and it would have been like very close. But I was like, you know what, I'll play for another turn. And then he ended up top decking a Gecko. And then he just destroyed me. I was like, okay, I lost. And then the second game, I don't think there was anything I could do differently. He's just a really good player. Like it was definitely his day. But that was after that. That was like when my day was cut short. And then two of my friends ended up playing each other, Hart and Zell, that played each other. I believe Zell won, and then they went to the finals, and it was Lucci mirror again. So it felt good to like half of the top 8 was Lucci, and I was part of that. So it was cool. It was cool to be part of that. Yeah.
How's it feel going to the next day, winning your first match, hopping in top 16, knowing that you secured the shanks, and then going into get into a top 8 placing?
No, it felt good. I've usually like put a lot of pressure on myself to do good, and I wasn't having like the best results doing that. So I kind of like relaxed. Okay, it was just like a game. At the end of the day, it's like a hobby, right? You don't have to put so much pressure in. And I didn't even have that much going into it. I just kept in the back of my head that like if I did lose, and my boy Cross would tell me like I'm dog shit at the game because I should never lose to Dofi or Boa. But for the most part, it was just do what you need to do, right? Like if you have those matchups, there was open deck list, so we knew what we were playing against. So it's just like at that point, you just have to play your game. Like if you draw what you need to draw and you play well, you can always win, even if you do draw bad. It's not always variance, but so I was just like, okay, just play my game, do what I need to do, and it worked. I got the cereal, got the top 8, so definitely felt good.
Okay, I see that it's still sealed. Are you gonna crack that open?
I'm not sure yet. I know it's the first one, so I kind of want to keep it because it has some sentimental value. But I know if I open it, it'll kind of lose all its value. So I'm just thinking about it. I do maybe want to get rid of the other prize cards, the Big Mom, the Catter, but it's like good to have as like some stock, some equity. But right now I want to keep it and just see how I feel about it.
It's a mystery number.
Yeah.
Maybe when next week comes, you win. You got
That'd be nice.
cereals.
If I got 2, then yeah, I'll probably move one. Yeah, for sure.
Well, overall, how was your experience going to Peoria?
It was fun. That's like I think my second or third time going to Peoria. Maybe my third, and I like it. It is a little out the way because I have to fly into Chicago. And my friend comes pick me up, and we drive down like 2 or 3 hours. So I wish it was in Chicago, but Peoria is not a bad place. It's it's simple. Just go there, wake up, walk to the venue, do the tournament, and then come back. It's pretty chill. It's a good event. I mean, you went too. You enjoyed it, right?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, shout out to you too. You did pretty well.
And then I'm going to throw a vlog out there so y'all can see what it's like just traveling around.
Yeah. Oh, you did the vlog?
I did.
Okay, that's fire.
We'll see if it
that's fire. That's fire.
Oh, wow. So last question I have, because this is a little bit different than the other interviews I really do.
Yeah.
What advice would you give for someone who wants to achieve their first cereal? This is a weird question, right?
Yeah.
But, you and me, we've been having these interviews. You've been like top 64, top 32, and then you finally. We've been talking about you gonna get this shake. You finally got it.
Yes, sir.
Like,
yes, sir.
What are the? How can I get my shakes? That's what I'm trying to get.
I really think it's just like volume. Like you do want to surround yourself around good players and like play, but the biggest thing that I had to do is like kind of put the ego away because like this is like one of my first TCGs. So when I played, I was like, oh, like I'm gonna be better than everybody. I'm gonna be good. Blah blah blah. And then you come into the game and you see like. People who having more success or you don't have the success that you want, you get like frustrated. But like the more I see, it's like if you look at One Piece, the same people are topping, right? Like the same people do well. They have the same success. You go to every event. So I believe like volume is important. You do want to play a lot. You also want to get like good practice in, but you also it's like playing more tournaments, right? If you're only playing like once, every couple months, like your chances are not going to be as high. But if you're just consistent, like I went this year, I told myself after Nats, like I was going to go to a bunch of tournaments and see how well I do. And then at the end of the year, we'll just like go look back at it, like, did I have enough success to where I can keep traveling? And so far, yes, because this year has been like my most successful year. So it felt good, but it was like volume. Don't think that you're better than everyone. Like you can have an opinion, but you should listen to every opinion. I used to be the guy to be like, oh no, this deck sucks, this card sucks, this sucks. And then like I humbled myself, watch my friends have success and listen to how they talk. I'm like, okay, well, you should test everything, try everything, play a bunch of different matchups and just like learn your deck and like the matchups that you're going to be playing. And then tech accordingly. Then after that, it's just luck, right? Like, oh, I got a perfect quote too from my boy Kevin Dusky, shout out, who got top 64 at Nats last year.
Okay,
he did lose to Nell playing Purple Luffy. We won't talk about that. But he told me earlier, he's like, success is when luck meets preparation, which I thought was really good because it's true. It is true. It is true.
Say that one more time.
Success is when luck meets preparation.
Oh.
Yes, because when you have success, because there is some luck to it, but the more you prepare for your matchups, the more you prepare for tournaments, the better off you are. You'll have like more confidence going into it, right? Like I went into day 2 with almost no pressure. Like I know it was for my first serial, but I was like, I played these matchups, I played this deck all day. I feel like I played well, just limit the mistakes, and that's pretty much what happened. I ended up, getting the serial and achieving like the goals that I've set forth for myself so far. So it felt good. So definitely, just prepare and play. Prepare and play. That's it. Prepare, play, and go to tournaments. So.
For sure. Congratulations. I don't want to ask you what you're going to do for Nats yet because I've talked to a lot of top players.
It's a secret.
Keep it down low.
No.
In Peoria, when I talk to a lot of these top players, no one really wanted to share.
Yeah.
Or a lot of times they're just taking in about the ban list because they put so much work in RP law and such. So
I know a lot of people were salty about that, but a lot of people just, it's like I said, preparing, right? Like a lot of the top players are going to play every deck. Like how you said in the beginning, where it's like I've been bouncing around between decks, is because I used to just like be a one-trick pony. I was like, okay, I'm just going to play this deck the entire format. But then I realized like, oh, you should play every deck so you can learn the matchups, learn how the deck plays, learn the deck's curves, learn like, what do you do if you don't have these cards, if you're not high rolling. And then when you do that, you play a different deck. You're like, okay, I know what to look for. It's important to like play a couple turns ahead. Like how when Sakazuki was the meta, it was like, oh, the better you are at playing ahead, the better you are at the deck. So that was like a big thing I learned from that.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
One last time.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see how you do next week.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Seriously.
You'll be here soon too.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.